my channel. I'm Michelle and this is Be Vegan, and today I'm going to talk about something that I should have talked about many a time ago because I think it's really essential, but I'm talking about it now, so hey, here we go. I want to talk about what you need as far as essentials in a vegan kitchen, the things that in my experience really make a big difference in when you are cooking and preparing food. So first I'm going to start with the things that I feel are really essential, and then some things that maybe are not as essential but I do find helpful as far as kitchen tools go in the kitchen, in my vegan kitchen. So let's get started. So the number one thing that I would recommend in a vegan kitchen is a Vitamix. The Vitamix that we have has lasted for a very long time. We've had it about 3 to 4 years already, and I use it at least once or twice a day. The style that it is the 5200, and it's for around $400, a little bit more if you decide to get some extra parts to it. But I have to say, this is the number one thing if you want to make any kind of cheesy sauces, any kind of smoothies, any kind of nut butters, or anything that really needs to be blended very thinly into a cream as opposed to a chunky mess in a regular blender. You really want a Vitamix. I think it's definitely worth the investment, and even if that means you need to save for a couple of months to be able to pay for it, definitely get this. That is truly number one. Number two is a juicer. I think juicing is such a phenomenal way to help your body get a lot of health. You can use it for juice cleanses, juice fasts, juice feasts, whatever you want to call them. And you can also use it to just have wonderful vegetable and fruit juice every single day. There's a lot of debate about whether you should use a fast juicer or a slow juicer, or if it even matters. There's definitely pros and cons to both of them. A faster juicer is something that will make your juice very fast. However, they do say that with faster juicers you don't get as much actual juice out of what you're juicing as opposed to a slow juicer. So what I mean by that, you can put a pound of spinach in the fast juicer and maybe only get about this much juice, or you can put a pound of spinach in the slow masticating juicer and you can get maybe even double the amount of juice. So if you're considering for money's sake alone, it's better to buy a little bit higher quality masticating juicer as opposed to a fast one. But the thing is, the bottom line, in my opinion, is that if you're able to juice and you can get a juicer that's affordable for you for like say around $100, as opposed to not being able to juice at all, I say go for the cheaper brand. You can always save up later and get a better juicer. And that is actually exactly what me and my husband have been doing. We have used for a long time a BREVILLE juice fountain, a very old model, which was really great, and we still have. However, because we're not living in our own house yet, we are using the juice of a family member, and they have an updated BREVILLE juice fountain, and it sucks. It leaks every single time I juice. I'm so fed up with that juicer, so I definitely would not recommend buying it. However, if that's your choice, a cheaper juicer as opposed to an expensive juicer, get it, because just juice. It's going to be healthy for you. It's going to be healthy for your family. Do what you need to do where you're at, and then you can always move up at any time in the future. The juicer that I do want to get when our BREVILLE finally does die is called KUVINGS. This is something that my husband has researched. I've never even heard of this juicer, but it has really wonderful reviews, and if you go to discountjuicers.com, you can see a lot of the different kinds of juicers that are available out there. I will put a link to a video that gives a little bit of a review on this particular juicer and how great it is. For me, that looks really wonderful and suits my needs. What we're looking to buy is the whole slow juicer, the B6000, and the price starts at $400. So that is definitely a little bit of an investment, so we will definitely save up for that. But when the time comes, that's what I'm looking to buy next, just a better quality juicer, because I do juice every single day and I guarantee that I will get my money's worth out of it. So if you're looking for something a little bit higher quality, I recommend going to check that out. And the third thing that I would recommend in a vegan kitchen is a Spiralizer. It doesn't have to be a very expensive one. The one that I have, I got at Walmart, and I believe it was $10 to $14, and it works just fine. It's just a regular hand spiralizer and it works just fine. Of course, there's better kinds of spiralizers out there and they will cost a little bit more money, but this is a cheap tool that you will definitely use if you're going to make pasta out of cucumbers or out of zucchini or carrots or any kind of vegetable that's a little bit like harder or root. You can totally make noodles out of. Number 4 is a food processor. I think that a food processor is very important because it is able to process things that the Vitamix will kind of just liquefy. So as much as I love the Vitamix and I love what it can do, a food processor is really helpful, in my opinion, for hummus, for salsa, for things that need a little bit more of a thicker texture, or that you don't just want to completely liquefy, food processors are really, really great. And the one that I have that I'm really impressed with the quality is a Black & Decker. It's from Walmart. Again, very inexpensive and works really, really well. And the last thing that I would count as an essential to a vegan kitchen is a good set of knives, because without a good set of knives, you're going to get really frustrated that you're not able to cut through vegetables and fruits as perfectly and precisely and beautifully as you want to. When you are chopping all the time, believe me, if you don't have a sharp set of knives, you're going to get frustrated. And so I really believe that it's very important. So find a good set of knives and make sure that you sharpen them often so that they are ready to be used at your disposal. Okay, so moving on to some things that I don't necessarily think are essential for a vegan kitchen, especially if you're just starting out, but things that I find to be really helpful. One of them would be cheesecloth or a nut milk bag. Now, cheesecloth will run you a couple of dollars. A nut milk bag will run you maybe $3 to $4, and I actually have both of them. And if you decide to make your own almond milk or cashew milk or nut milk of any kind, a cheesecloth or a nut milk bag is something that you're definitely going to need to actually strain the pulp of the almond milk, say, of the almonds, to actually get the milk into the container that you are making the milk in. So that's really important if you decide to make your own nut milks, but it's not essential. A citrus juicer is helpful to me as well, but not essential. Again, this is from Black & Decker, and this has lasted for about 3 years as well. I've had this for a very long time, and I use this actually every single day. If citrus is not really your thing, then obviously this won't be essential. But do know that juicing oranges, for example, they have bioavailable calcium in them, and people are like, what are you going to do when you're a vegan? Where are you going to get your calcium? Oranges are some place that you can get them. And I do have to say, because I juice citrus every single day along with all the other fruits and vegetables, I have not been sick in years. So I definitely do urge you to get some citrus in your diet, and this is just one way that you can do that. A good set of measuring cups is not essential, but it's definitely helpful if you want to try to make lots of new recipes. The same thing goes with a cutting board, a good quality cutting board that you can use time and time again, that's not going to start to bow because it's bad or low quality. And also something that I really, really like to have is glass kind of Tupperware, so things to store fruits and vegetables in, or salsa or hummus that you know is not going to be leaching plastic from cheap Tupperware, kind of typical Ziploc plastic kind of containers. So get yourself either a set of glass Tupperware, or even just use jars. I use mason jars a lot, and I know that's really cliche and super hipster, but they're actually really, really helpful. Oftentimes I can find sales online via Target or Walmart, or just going into a Target or a Walmart. I'm always like trolling the jar section and seeing what's available. Recently, I went to Target, and on Target.com, there was a set of 9 24-ounce ball mason jars, and they were on sale for $6. However, when I went to the store, they were almost $10, but I showed them the picture of the online and they gave them to me for $6. So I actually ended up buying 18 of those jars, and I use every single one of them. I use those for storing food. I use those for bringing juice or smoothies on the go. I use them we make our own sauerkraut at home, which is a wonderful source of probiotic, if you haven't heard me say that a million times. And those are the jars that we use to store the sauerkraut in. So they're very multi-purpose for me. Not essential, but definitely a cheap way to store food. This is another non-essential but helpful kitchen tool. It's, I actually don't know what this is called, but it's like a little mill that kind of grinds nuts up. I'm sure you could actually do the same thing in your food processor. However, this is just a little hand way, like if you're making pad thai sauce and you want to sprinkle a little bit of peanuts on top or have some crushed cashews somewhere. So not essential, but also helpful. And then the very last thing I want to talk about is something that I don't have, but I want to ask your opinion. If there's anybody out there who has a dehydrator, I am definitely looking into getting that. I want to make my own kind of crackers, and I want to be able to maybe dry my own fruit and make some little dessert creations with a dehydrator. Now, I know this is not completely essential, but I do want to do maybe some like raw treats, and I know for a lot of things like that you do need a dehydrator. I've been looking at the Excalibur. The price range between about $160 to $200. So If you have any information about using a dehydrator or if you've used one and you hate it, please let me know down below. Okay, those are my vegan kitchen essentials and non-essentials as well. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions about any of this stuff, do leave it down below and I will chat with you there. Look forward to talking to you guys. Bye!